Welcome to Play of the Day. I am Ken. With me are Nate and Chris. As always, welcome, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, this week it's Thanksgiving, so I thought for me, Thanksgiving is one of those where it's a hit or miss on enjoyment. So in some ways, I bet it is a play because it's when family gets together, and we just had an election, so that's going to make for some great talk around the Thanksgiving table.
Yeah.
So and I have family that are on both sides of the aisle, and it's always entertaining.
Oh
So
yeah.
I thought we'd like dive into like Thanksgiving, maybe some stuff you guys like to do for Thanksgiving, and maybe if you have some interesting stories pertaining to past Thanksgiving. Uh like for instance, like what is like a staple of something you guys have at your meal? I mean, other than like turkey, or maybe you don't do turkey. I don't know.
We used to do two different staples with my family. We haven't done either of them since either person passed. We used to have a friend of the family. Her name was Claire Loving, and her
Mhm.
husband, if you're an aviation enthusiast, you might know Neil Loving. He was the first African American double amputee to, I think, get his license. He's in the Aviation Hall of Fame. He's got an airplane that he built on display up at the Experimental Aircraft Association in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Um, and his wife, she used to stop over to our house after he passed all the time. She was just like part of the family. And she'd bring over, she was Jamaican, and she'd bring over this beans and rice dish that was like a staple down there.
Mhm.
Absolutely delicious. Loved it. And I look forward to having that every year. The other one, my mom, before she passed away, she used to make mashed sweet potatoes, and she'd mix in like maple syrup and jalapenos, but the maple syrup kind of diluted the heat, but you still had the flavor of the jalapeno mixed in with the sweet potatoes, and it was incredible. I've never tasted anything like it before or since, and I'm trying to figure out how to replicate it, and I'm having no luck because she never wrote it down. So it's kind of disappointing.
You know
Mhm.
that I don't know if it's a story or just like a saying, if you put a bunch of monkeys in a room with typewriters, they'll eventually write Shakespeare.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what you just said, like I would have never ever put those string
Yeah.
of words together for Thanksgiving. Like I would have never guessed you would have said all those things together. It's pretty interesting.
I kind of jumped all over the place. It was the same holiday, just different people, different dishes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That honey thing, or did you say honey or maple syrup? Maple syrup.
Maple
That
syrup.
that sounds like something I had never heard of anything like that before until just like a couple weeks ago. So it's interesting you brought that up.
Hmm.
Actually, it's funny that you brought up that saying about 100 monkeys typing and all that. There was
Hmm.
actually an article where somebody um, did a study, and they said that that is factually inaccurate and impossible.
Yeah.
I read this about a
Monkeys.
week
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, I read
They
that.
would
That was
die.
recently.
They
Okay.
would die. Those
Yeah.
monkeys would not live that long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
could not get Shakespeare written.
Yeah.
I don't know who fronted the study and who, paid for it, but I just, it was funny that you brought that up, and I just read this like a week ago. So,
Yeah. No, I read the same thing. I don't know why I read it. I think I thought it was interesting because I was always hoping that monkeys would,
yeah,
you know.
well, they're better than some of the authors out there.
Yeah. Now, see, I have, I don't have like any like regular. I mean, it's we don't have any surprise meal things. I think it's like the traditional, like the green bean casserole,
Right.
turkey stuffing, all that. Like, but I do have a funny story involving my uncles on Thanksgiving, and what happened was this is a long time ago. I was probably like 10 or 11, and uh, we're having Thanksgiving at my grandparents, and my uncle brought over the turkey, and it was in the oven, and we were all, hanging out, and something happened that my two uncles got into a huge, huge fight. And they were just like going at it. And they like, my dad tried to stop it. My other uncle, who's married to my aunt, tried to stop it. And their wives were trying to stop it, but they were just rah, 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 to the point that my uncle who brought the turkey went into the kitchen, grabbed the turkey out of the oven, said, "We're going home," and left with the turkey.
Oh,
And
God.
and it was hilarious. Like at the time, like I don't even think it registered really. Like I just remember the big fight, and then that Thanksgiving, all we had were sides,
Nice.
and it was.
You don't remember what the fight was about.
I don't. I have no idea. It could have been anything. Like Like to
Was it
understand,
during
like
last election?
no, no, this was like so long ago. But like to understand this side of my family, it's my mom's side of the family, they're Italian. And so it could, yeah, and it's stereotypical Italians. They just went nuts and got into a huge. I think there was drinking involved. But I don't
Oh,
think there was an election because they both are very like similar politically. But it
oh, okay.
could have been a football game for all I know, and they went nuts and crazy. I know one was an Ohio State fan, the other was not. It could have been that, you know, something like that. That's how dumb it could have been. And no doubt it was something really stupid because we all got together at Christmas and there was no problem.
How
So
old were you when this happened? I mean, was it
I
recent?
was like 10 or 11, you
Oh,
know.
okay. So it was a while ago. Oh,
A
during
while
Oh,
ago, yeah.
okay.
yeah, a long time ago. So, but yeah, another funny thing, like we have not had Thanksgiving with these people, but I really wish we would. Is my wife's aunts. Uh, just anytime we're together, one is super left wing and the other is super right wing, and they're sisters, and they are hilarious to just bait. And I wish we could have Thanksgiving
I used
together.
to do that a lot too.
Yeah, because I would jump, especially now with this election.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like the one aunt is like she's like, Trump is the world is going to be the most amazing. We're gonna have flying cars tomorrow. Like she's like off like everything that like the world January 20th, all the problems are gone. Like she's firmly believes it's gonna be like sunshines and lollipops. The other one is the exact opposite. January 20th, they're coming with trains. They're gonna put her on one. She's going to a camp and we'll never see her again. Like it's like
I've heard
because she posted
extreme stuff
anti-Trump
on both
stuff.
sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she posted anti-Trump stuff, and it's hilarious. She scoured her Facebook, and all that stuff's gone. Like she firmly believes that
He's
Trump's
coming
coming
after
after her.
me.
Like, and I told her, I go. Yeah, I don't want to say her name because I was like, hey, because I don't want to add fuel to the flame. I
Right.
just told her, I go, look, I go, you're the least of his worries. You're in your 80s.
Yeah,
I
you're
go,
legal. You're a
yeah, you,
citizen. He's going
yeah,
after everybody else.
yeah. But I was like, well, she's in New York. I go, you're fine. I go, I don't think you're on anyone's list. I go, at 80, I think you get away with saying all kinds of stuff.
At
You know,
80, you get special privileges. That's when
yeah,
they
you
try to
could like
cater
go
to
and
you. You vote.
You have her
yeah,
sister just go up to her like this.
oh yeah. I mean, it's just funny that she's like, going off on that. And I mean, and like I said, I have fun, messing with her, and
Poking the bear.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Completely, completely. What about you, Chris? What do you got? Any kind of any kind of
Um,
craziness?
well, I wish like I'm sure I have like probably several stories that are well repressed at this point. But the my current like Thanksgiving situation is a moving target. It's changing year by year. So it's not like a hey, we do this every year kind of thing. The one thing that seems consistent, I don't know why, is that we're doing I guess you could say I don't know, like an intramural sport
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like
between
Turkey Bowl.
family members. So like last year we did flag football and it became very tackle football very quickly.
Oh yeah.
We
This
used to do
year
that
we've
down in Jacksonville Beach.
what's that?
We used to do that down in Jacksonville Beach, but it wasn't
On the
flag.
beach, that would wear you out quicker.
Yeah, well, they
Standing on
called it
sand.
Turkey Bowl.
Uh, but this year we're gonna do kickball, which
Oh, that'll be fun.
yeah, that seems like
Yeah.
a better idea.
Safer.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just got back from Costco and we're recording this on
Okay.
a Sunday and it is never a good idea to go to Costco on a Sunday and it is really never a good idea to go to Costco on a Sunday the week of Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we like we
What
were
were
there. It
you
was
thinking?
practically opening time. We got there like 30 minutes after opening time, and it was packed. Just like
Really? Wow.
yeah. And so I don't want to go back this week. I'm worried about the whole like until January something. After people are done doing returns for Christmas gifts and all that.
Oh,
Just in
Yeah.
of
general, all
course,
the
then
stores.
before Christmas.
What's that?
That's
Yeah,
worse than
all the
Christmas.
way through,
Yeah.
like all the way through
Yeah.
the rest of November and all of December. I'm not looking forward to that. I live in a pretty like cool area now where I'm just surrounded by stores, but because of that, it means that if this is what it looks like right now, I'm not looking forward to what it's going to look like after or closer to these holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of like something that interesting that happened, but oh, my uncles got in a fight and one of them took the turkey home with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
saw
of
it.
that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great story.
Like,
Um,
I mean, I have many stories involving these uncles, like
yeah.
over my life that they just,
There
you
was
know, but I want to save those for the other
Yeah,
holidays.
save him. Save him.
there was
Yeah.
one.
Cause,
We had a neighbor across the street. His name, I'm not going to say his name. Anyways, him and his wife ended up moving down to Arkansas, and his family lives down there. Now, this isn't something that happened on Thanksgiving, but they used to come over to our house for Thanksgiving. Um, his brother had bought, or the family had bought, this concrete memorial bench for the grave for the cemetery,
mhm.
says in memory of it. Uh, I guess they got the cemetery after a number of years asked if he'd like to have it back because I guess it was hard to mow around or something like that. It wasn't being used. He was like, yeah, I'd be happy to pick it up. We could use it. So he grabs his son-in-law and he goes, get in the truck. We're going to go pick up a bench. He's like, okay, where are we getting? He goes, don't worry about that. Just drive. So he goes, okay, turn in here. And he turns into the cemetery and he's like, slow down, slow down, slow down. No, no, no. He has him go around the cemetery, pretending like he's looking at all these different benches. And then he gets to the one that he knew he was already picking up that the cemetery asked. He goes, wait, this is it. Get out of the truck. Let's go. He's like, what are you talking about? We can't steal. He's like, no, it'll be fine. Come on, get the. So his son-in-law is helping him put this in the back of the truck. He's freaking out. He's like shaking and stuff like that. Gets to the house. He's like, come on, help me get it out of the truck. Set it up over here. He goes into the house. The guy's just like, I can't believe I just robbed the cemetery. His wife comes out. What did you do? He's like, what? He's playing it off. It was the funniest thing. He told it much better than me, but I love the premise around it. Don't tell the
Yeah.
guy what you're doing, and
Yeah.
just
Just go and do it.
yeah, no, it was great. I was in tears when he told it much better. His
That's
like I
funny.
said, his brother was a minister, so I'm sure his storytelling is better than mine. But I like that.
That's funny though. That is
Don't
funny.
don't sell yourself short, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not. I suck. There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True. Let us say that.
I'm terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't say that about yourself, man.
Yeah. Wait for everybody else to say it.
Nice. Nice. So like what like are there any other things that you guys do? Like I know some people do like little races. I know you said turkey bowl. Are you gonna do that this year, Nate? You gonna do a little
No,
football?
not with my
You
knee.
you and your
Knee
dad
surgery.
go outside, little tackle.
We'll probably watch football. I've got to work Thanksgiving and the day after.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That
well,
stinks.
I'll be
Wow.
down. I'll be back for dinner. But my dad, he likes ham, so he bought himself a ham instead. So he's like, "I'll
Okay.
save some
Oh
for you."
yeah, we're not having turkey this year. We're having ribs.
Nice. And
Wow.
of
I'll
course, we
take
got
it. Yeah.
football all day on TV. So I'm guessing at some point, I think Detroit usually plays right on Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be on Netflix, isn't
Streaming.
it?
Oh, are they
I
streaming?
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember them saying during the Tyson fight, they said that they were gonna be hosting it.
God,
Yeah.
that would
Hopefully
be
they do
good.
better than the Tyson fight
Hopefully, yeah.
because
Okay,
that
you
that
watched it,
was
right? Do you think it was
Yeah.
rigged? Do you think it was
I don't think it was rigged. I saw those, the
artificial?
slow-mos where
Yeah.
it shows like him dodge. I think it was just, he
Oh,
missed.
yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was
yeah.
just some because
Dude, he's in his 60s. Come
he's
on.
like he's 58.
Yeah,
He's
All
he's
right,
old.
old,
he's all
right?
he's old,
And
man. Yeah.
like we can get into that, but like Logan Paul, he won't fight anybody like his age that's
No,
a
he has to
professional
Yeah.
fight all these
fighter
people
because
that
he'll
have to
get
come out of
dominated.
retirement.
Because he did that once, didn't he? And he lost.
Yeah. His one loss, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't tried to get George Foreman back out.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah. I don't want to give him any ideas.
Like I would love that. I think he needs to take down all the old men. Just
Well, I'd
slowly
have a
take
lot
out.
more respect for him if he like started out at the bottom and worked his way up, But
Yeah.
instead, he had Disney money and
It's like, is
YouTube
Buster
money.
Douglas still around? Like,
Oh, if he is, he's probably 350 pounds.
but I'm saying he should have started with Buster Douglas because Buster beat Tyson. So it's
I
like,
actually
hey,
watched that.
I beat Buster. Now I want Tyson, you know?
No, I remember watching that as it happened. They were supposed to have a pay-per-view fight like the following month, but this was like just a
Yeah,
throw
throwaway.
off of
Yeah.
HBO. You didn't have to pay extra for it. It was just being aired, on the show. And it was on, I think they were in Japan when it happened.
Yeah.
And after Tyson got beat, I ended up calling our friend Tony, woke his parents up. Like, what the hell are you doing calling at this hour? I'm like, Tyson just got beat. She's like, hold on, I'll get Tony.
Yeah.
So I was freaking out, and never thought that would have happened.
It was nuts. And then when that like and I was really rooting for him. I was hoping he'd beat Jake
Oh,
Paul.
I
I
was
was
too. Well, because those first two rounds, he was actually, I thought he was doing better.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you could see between the rounds where like the age is just it gets to you. So
yeah,
it wasn't ultimately surprised. I think like I definitely wanted Tyson to win, but I think there was no way, no real positive PR for Jake Paul. He was the one, right? It wasn't
yeah.
Logan, right?
Yeah.
Logan's in
There was
wrestling.
no. I think I said Logan earlier.
Oh, okay.
But he was an a-hole during the after interview. He said, "I'll kill you, Mike." Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and the guy stepped on Tyson's foot. That's why he, slapped
Well,
him at
no,
the
it was.
ring.
What was I saying? I don't know. There's no good PR for this, right? Like
Hmm.
if Tyson won, then uh everyone would have said, "Hey, you got your ass kicked by a 58-year-old," you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he won, which you did, everyone was going to say, "Great job, you beat up a 58-year-old."
Yeah, it was a
There's
lose-lose
no
for him.
positive. I mean, outside of the money, right? You get the money
Right.
and but
Yeah.
like everything like about is just annoying. Like he's just sticking out his tongue, spraying all this shit in the air, and like I just you just it was easy to root for Tyson in this for
Yeah.
me.
Even if he didn't like Tyson, it was easier to dislike Jake than it
Right.
was
Yeah.
dislike Mike.
Yeah. It's easy to dislike him. Yeah.
Well, both
Well,
of
I
them.
mean,
One of his
his
brothers.
brother's not much better either, right?
No, he plays
Well,
a
that's what I'm
heel
saying. When
in
his
WWE.
brother, when they asked Mike if he was gonna stop, right? And he said, maybe,
Mhm.
just a little throwaway line. He said, maybe I'll fight his brother. And they handed the mic to his brother, and he said, "I'll kill you, Mike." You're just completely like missing the tone, like
Yeah.
reading the room of
Yeah.
how things were going. I just thought
Yeah.
that was,
Now his brother, he's the one that went into the Japanese suicide force, right? Like I was confused.
oh
Which one of the
yeah,
Pauls
yeah.
went into that?
I think
I
that sounds right.
don't know
Like there's
anything
Jake
about
and
that.
Logan. I think Logan's the one that got in a lot of trouble. He went in and they found the
hmm
guy who had hung himself and he was making jokes about it. And
Yeah.
Oh,
this was a
was that
while
him?
back.
Oh, that was
So
I kind of remember that.
yeah,
Now, right now he's wrestling for WWE.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Is he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
What
then
would
he
be
probably couldn't
great?
qualify for a real fight anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he would.
I
Well, he
I'd
doesn't
like
really have any
well,
experience.
pass a drug test. I mean, like he probably wouldn't pass if he's playing or in the WWE.
yeah. I I would like to see Jake go into like the octagon and UCF, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I just want to see him fight somebody his age that is a professional fighter.
Mm.
Somebody challenged him like the day after, and he just said, "Haha, I just saw this. It just shows that I'm running the sport or something like that."
yeah,
Um,
the
but
face
he
of
didn't acknowledge
boxing.
like say like I'll do it.
Yeah.
Just he just kind of deflected like, "Hey, I just
Like
saw this."
look at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's that I we should get him on and see if we can
Yeah, let's
talk to
get
him
him on.
because I think he is a plague to society.
Yeah.
And so
No.
I think we could pitch it to him that way.
yeah, he might like
Well,
it.
I mean, he came from Cleveland, so I mean, is it really surprising?
Yeah. Cleveland. Can anything I mean, what's good up in Cleveland? Not much. Not much.
No. It's the only city that had their river catch fire. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing.
I don't know that story.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this was well, that's back in like the 70s.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they were just dumping a lot of toxic waste out from all the different
Mhm.
tire companies, rubber plants, coal factories, and stuff like that. And it was so polluted that somehow I don't know what started it, but the entire river caught fire because there was that much waste in it.
Yeah.
Took like a few
Wow.
days to put out.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah, and then
was.
probably several decades to get out of the lungs of
They said that just
generational
I think like
poisoning.
within the last 10 years, fish have started to come back. So I mean, they made a big effort to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good
like
for
what,
the
East
good for
Palestine, right?
Cleveland.
Or Palestine, East Palestine, same deal. Like that,
Yeah.
their water instantly got contaminated, and they tried to play it off like it's good now, but it
Yeah.
wasn't
He's
good.
like, all right, you drink some. Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta go.
Like I wonder, like just they. I mean, they don't play that up anymore. They don't like talking about like what happened there,
No.
and
Yeah.
No, I
like
wouldn't, right? It's very bad for
yeah,
attracting new people.
yeah,
True.
yeah. Like nobody wants to go there, and
Well,
whatever.
to be fair, nobody wanted to go there in the first place. I mean, it's
And
not like
nobody
True.
a tourist
really
destination.
wants to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in general, though, do people really want to go to Ohio? Sorry, Nate, but
Oh, I'm digging it. Actually, um, I'm thinking my dad was telling me about a few job opportunities just outside Tombstone. So I might be
oh,
able
nice.
to dream. Yeah. Live down in Arizona, not too far from my favorite place.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
And um, well, isn't Ohio now like a mocking term? Like the kids use it.
Yeah, yeah,
How's
yeah, I
that?
do. I think Ohio is it sound old. I think it's like a term for like bland, right? Like it's like
Yeah,
or
Oh, kind
yeah,
of like
basic
Wonder
or
Bread.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Mayonnaise,
But
just
yeah,
vanilla.
but now it's Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I live here. It is pretty
Yeah,
boring.
yeah. I used to live there. I know. I know.
I've never
It's
been to
not that
Ohio. I've
bad.
been to I my grandma used to live in Idaho, and uh it's very beautiful, like the mountains and the sky, just beautiful
Hmm.
place, but boring as dirt. If you didn't grow up there, it's just there's nothing to do, at least in the
Yeah,
90s when I was visiting.
nice.
One of the things that I still enjoy in Ohio, United States Air Force Museum, just down the road.
Yeah,
Ken used to work there.
yeah.
They've really added on. They've got 5 different buildings and a missile silo, or a hall of missiles, I should say. It's this large round building. It's indoors. Remember how they used to have everything outdoors? They
Hmm.
moved them all indoors. They've got 5 different buildings now. Um,
Okay.
they've got like 23 retired Air Force Ones, things like that. They got the
Yeah.
Memphis Bells down there now. They've got Boxcar, which dropped the bomb over Nagasaki. They've got all sorts of early aircraft. It's well, and to make Dayton sound interesting, my dad and I were doing this thing. It's called the Dayton Ale Trail. They give you this passport book, and you go to like 30 different breweries around the area. Some are in Middletown, Eaton, some places like that. And every time you go there, you get a stamp. And by the end, you have an entire year to hit all 30 places, get a beer. And then if you do, you turn your passport downtown at this place called the Yellow Cab. And last year it was like a commemorative glass, so it's like a beer stein type thing.
Hmm.
This year it's some sort of like, I don't know, backpack. So, but it's nice. You get to go out, you get to try different beers, you get to try. Some places have food, and some of the food at these places are really, really good, and some of the beer is really, really good. Other places, not so much.
Hmm.
Hit or miss. But it gives
Nice.
us something to look forward to every week.
It gives you something to do in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Like Chris, I think your town needs something like that. You know,
Yeah,
right?
there's quite a bit going on in this town. I mean, I don't know. I just checked out the old town about a week ago, which was really cool.
Oh, cool.
It looks like the old West, but
Nice.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do here, but I haven't hit up any drinking tours yet.
Well,
You haven't
that's the other
fallen
thing.
there yet.
What being this
Yeah.
close to Kentucky, we can just drive down to Kentucky and hit all the distilleries. So
Which so where's uh Jack
Jack Daniels
Daniels
is in Tennessee.
was is that where it's a dry county?
Yes.
That's
Now
that's wild to
Jim
me.
Beam
That is funny.
Yeah.
Jim Beam is in Kentucky. Jack Daniels is down in Tennessee. And yeah, I'm
That
not
just
sure if it
seems so
still is.
weird
I
to
know that
me.
it was.
Well, it reminds me of I don't I'm because it's a dry county, but I'm sure people are still drinking, right? But it just seems very hypocritical. It's almost like how China produces so much goods that are illegal in China.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Reminds me of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's not,
When
it's
I went
not
to
right.
college, it was a dry campus, but they were sponsored. They took money from Budweiser, so there was a
Yeah, not
single little
hypocritical at all.
restaurant like that sold Budweiser.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic. Like, I mean, my area is not dry at all. I mean, I have a winery and a meadery like right down the street
Yeah,
from
we're
me,
in wine
and a
county too, man.
distillery.
That
Yeah.
that
So,
meadery was really good. They had some really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a mead seltzer? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
that was interesting. I never tried one of those before.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
People will do anything now. Anything, seltzer, this and that. That's how it's all about now. They're like
Yeah,
hard
poor
seltzers.
Zima. Zima was left behind, that whole thing.
What's the
Oh
difference
my
between a
gosh.
mead seltzer and a cider?
Well, I guess the mead seltzer would be it's honey
Honey
based,
based. Yeah.
and then a
And then
cider
Oh,
is
that's
cider.
right.
fruit
We
fruit
had this
based.
discussion on the sports show. Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
you know,
So mead is made of honey. That's
Yeah.
right.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
like
Some
somebody was eating honey and they were thinking, how can I get drunk off this?
yeah,
Well, and
exact.
the mead, some mead that I've tasted, which I didn't find this with the one down the road from your house. It's kind of thick, kind of syrupy,
Yeah,
but the one down the road from your house, that was smooth. I mean, that was
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Not really good for a diabetic, but
What's the
it was
yeah,
good.
seriously. Like the more sugar, the more vomit. But what's the like typical ABV on a mead?
On a meat. Ooh,
Ooh,
I'm not sure.
Like
it's
I want to
pretty.
compare it to like a beer or a wine or a hard liquor.
It's higher than beer. I
Uh-huh.
know that.
Well, like the highest beer that I think I've seen at one of these local breweries, I think it's maybe like 11%. Most of them are anywhere between 5 and 7 or 8.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And a wine might I typically like think of wine at about like 11 or 12.
Mm.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I was just wondering that because mead was the drink they're always shaking in the movies with kings and knights and all that. But or what about Beauty and the Beast? Do you think they were drinking mead or beer?
Yeah, I bet you ale,
Ale.
which is beer.
Yeah.
Wait. How
So,
old was Bell?
How old?
uh,
That's a inappropriate question.
yeah, don't bring that up,
Because
dude.
Were they drinking? Come on. I mean,
well, no, but like Snow White, for example, she was like 14, I think, and then
Hmm.
Little
Little
Mermaid, she's
Mermaid was
like
like
15.
16.
Yeah, 15 or
Yeah.
16, and then the Prince was
Yeah.
21.
Who was
Yeah,
21?
The Prince?
Oh
yeah, he is
yeah, yeah,
21.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's different time period, Nate. You
People
can't.
expired quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
the other thing, like I thought it was funny, like when that came out, like they did the cartoon version, and so
Hmm.
she was this redhead, and then they did the live action, and people were wigging out
Hmm.
about the lady's race who
Hmm.
played, and she did. I saw that live action. It was just like the cartoon, but you know, it's still CGI most of the
I was going
Yeah.
to
thing.
say, I mean,
But it's
they should have complained about the choice of the actress. They should have complained about how bad the movie was.
it really wasn't that bad. Like I mean, it was no to me, it wasn't any different than the cartoon.
They
It
So
cut
wasn't.
out the best song.
Oh
which
yeah,
one?
yeah, true, yeah.
Which one
The
was
Kiss
the
the
best?
girl.
That
no
one
no
though, it's
the
in there. It's in there.
It
I
is.
think
no
they
it was
slightly
Les
modify
Poissons.
it though to make it more
They thought
PC.
that Les Poissons, the fish song with the chef, was too stereotypical.
Oh,
Oh, I
really?
don't
That
know.
was out. Oh,
Uh,
I didn't even notice. But like I'm
funny
just saying,
for
like it. The thing I always thought was funny, like if you read the original book by
Mhm.
Hans
Oh
Christian
yeah, yeah.
Andersen,
Right.
he describes the mermaid and like she has green skin, and like when she was a mermaid, she wasn't pretty,
Yeah.
and then she become, and then I wish that they would do the actual version because at the end of the thing she dies
Yeah,
because
Oh,
so the you brought this movie up. It's funny you bring it up because I have a better story about this than Thanksgiving, apparently. But
Okay, go.
so the my wife was looking forward to this remake because she loved the cartoon,
Mm.
Yeah,
and so she was looking forward to it. And I'm like, these, and I wasn't looking forward to it because it's another Disney live action remake. And then the news came out that it was like over 2 hours long. I'm like,
Oh,
because the original is like 80 minutes or something like
yeah,
that. And so I'm like, all right. Anyway, like she's like, okay, let's watch it, but because it came to Disney Plus, and
yeah.
we had to watch it separately, and so she's like, okay, let's watch it tonight on our own devices or whatever. And she gets 5 minutes into the movie. I find this out the next day. She got like 5 or 10 minutes in and bailed on the movie that she was looking forward to. I sat through that
Wow.
whole day.
Wow.
But to
what was the
like
reason she didn't watch it?
I think like we talked about the CG and all that, and
Mm.
it just like it looks like, especially like the fish, right? They try to make them
Like
look too much like
much like
actual
fish.
fish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Meanwhile,
good
all
on
this
her.
fantastical stuff is happening, right?
She didn't let
But
it ruin the original.
what's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that?
She didn't let it, the remake
Exactly. And
ruin
so,
the
I mean,
original.
I stuck through this whole movie, and
You're a good
as far
husband.
as like the casting is concerned, I thought that the girl who did played Ariel, like especially the singing, she sounded really close to the original
Actually,
actress. Like it
she
sounded very
sounded
similar.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and they added like a whole little subplot with the prince's parents and like stuff that just didn't need to be there.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
added an
yeah.
original song with her like on the wagon on the way there. And I just thought it was fine, but again, it's just like a bloated movie that just the only
Didn't need to
purpose it
happen.
serves is to stoke nostalgia for the younger generations to take their kids, and then just one more thing to throw into the pile for you to buy. But
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. It just wasn't something that I need to see
Now,
again.
there is a live action remake coming out that I am looking forward to.
Snow White.
No, God, no. Look, if they don't have dwarves in it, I don't want to see it.
Well, they're in it.
Yeah, they're in it now. They went back and did
They're
CGI.
CG. They're horrifying, but
Yeah,
they're
they
in it.
look
Yeah.
like hipsters, the
No,
original.
no, no. They took those hipsters out, and now
Oh, they
they're
did. Okay.
actual like CG. Like they just it looks
They look
bad.
like the original dwarves, but CGI'd.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's freaky. It's gonna scare children. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's
So
ever. I think it's gonna eventually because they still have not given. They keep changing the release date on it, and they
Because
keep.
they don't want to release it. I'm surprised
Well,
they
no,
didn't.
it's
well,
gonna. Yeah, go ahead. Do
they
you
just
know?
put a trailer out.
Oh,
It's
did they
only
finally?
playing in front of Wicked right now. I saw it this morning because somebody did like they recorded it in the theater and posted it. Disney's probably pulled it by now, but so I saw
Yeah,
the newest trailer for it. I don't think that I saw the Prince at all. I don't know.
yeah.
There was a interview like a year plus ago with Rachel Zegler, who's playing Snow White. She said that they might cut him out entirely, and it looks like they might have.
Well,
Um,
Well, how's she come back to life?
well,
to just leave her dead.
did you follow any of the like? This has been a whole like she's. I think Disney regrets hiring her because she has not been a
Good for
good
PR.
PR spokesperson for the original Snow White or just Snow White in general. Because
Yeah.
she said she was like it was the interview was probably at least 2 years old. Like she was on the red carpet for something else, and they were asking her about it, and that's where she said that they might cut out the prince entirely. And she also
Oh
was
wow.
saying that there's a couple interviews where she said that the original Snow White is kind of a creepy, like she watched it once and was creeped out, something along those lines, because of the whole prince coming and kissing her
When
while
she's
she's
asleep or
asleep and all that.
dead. Well, I think
Yeah,
she's.
weird. That was the thing you keep seeing in these clips.
So in this version, the dwarves take her in, and then she says, "This place is dirty. Let me have you guys clean up the place." So she's like ordering around these guys that are helping her out. So
Yeah,
I think that fits more in line with today's values than they did
yeah.
back.
Well, it seems to be like a I don't know, like the vibe I got from the trailer is it's like an uprising kind of movie, like where Snow White is like uprising for the people, and they have Gal
Somebody needs
Gadot
to.
playing the queen,
Yeah.
who's jealous of her, and
That
I'm
would be
not
the only saving grace out of the whole movie is Gal Gadot.
Well, I have seen the
acting
things where
wise,
the
I
people
don't know.
are like, how's she jealous of the other girl's looks?
Yeah.
I have seen those that which
Now,
I like.
I forgot the movie I was talking about. They're doing a live action remake
Oh
of
yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it's from the same director who did the original, which I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I saw the trailer for that.
that
I
looks
guess they're
like
changing some things, but they only showed the stuff that was like a one
Is the
for one.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right, like him, holding his hand out,
Yeah.
and
but I thought it was cool that they got Gerard Butler back to be stoic, which that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And like,
Well, and the
because yeah,
kid that they got, he actually sounds a lot like the voice actor. I mean,
oh
um,
Does
what's
he? I
Jay,
don't. Did he talk in the? Yeah, Jay something up.
yeah,
I
He was in
can't.
that show too. Do you ever watch that FX show? What was it called? It was like about a guy who's just trying to navigate dating life in the modern world. Uh, it doesn't matter, but it was a funny show.
yeah, I haven't, but that's I had so yeah, those things I'm looking forward to, and they're also doing a live action of Moana, which I think is way too soon, but I guess they
Oh,
have to do it
really?
before The Rock gets too old to
Did
replay his part.
Have they come out with the second one yet?
No,
It's coming out
it's coming out soon.
soon,
Yeah.
like it may be in a week or two, the second one,
Oh,
but then
nice.
they're doing a live action of the first one. So
Oh, yeah. I don't know why
It's
they have to
they're
do all these live action remakes, and I kind of
money.
wish they went back to the old drawing animation. All the
Oh
CG.
yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I mean, the
Like
yeah,
last good Disney film that I remember seeing was Treasure Planet, which kind of had some CGI in it, but it was
yeah, it's,
a drawn.
well the when
I think it's underappreciated movie.
Princess and the Frog came out,
Oh
that
yeah,
Disney
that
made a
was it.
big deal about that because it was they said this is our Disney's return to 2D animated
mhm.
filmmaking, and then it underperformed and they just immediately dropped it and never spoke of it again.
And yet they
Yeah.
keep making Star Wars movies. God.
Yeah.
And
But I
they
agree with
aren't going
that.
to
Like
stop.
the 2D is a dying art form, which kind of
Yeah, I just think
it still lives on a bit with like
Mhm.
TV, but you don't get
mhm.
those same budgets and like some of it just kind of looks like high quality flash animation, like the
Yeah.
thick black line. Like you could tell this is mostly or all being done on a computer.
Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
like with Disney Plus. They came out with what is that? X-Men 93 or something like that, or 94?
97, yeah.
97. Okay. Um, it looks like classically drawn, you know, animation, but it's computer animated. So, I mean, I guess you can use computer animated to make it look like it was drawn.
But yeah.
Well, they have gotten better. Like what I what I have appreciated since the Into the Spider-Verse came out, which
Mhm.
that
That
was
was
a very unique like
Yeah.
animation style. It felt like, they're going for this comic book aesthetic, but like it's almost like every frame is a painting kind of thing, and it's
Yeah.
definitely
Mhm.
being animated in CG. It's like 3D models, but they're trying to put this 2D look on it that they really, they might have tried to achieve in the past years in different ways, like through filters. I remember there being this like weird Keanu Reeves movie that I don't know if that was CG at all or if they just like used some weird filter over everybody,
Mhm.
but they like the technology is at a place where it can look really cool now. Like that Ninja Turtles movie that came out, they were clearly inspired by that Into the Spider-Verse.
Those follow
Yeah.
more like a comic book board type,
Yeah, and I think that's like I miss the 2D drawing animation because like we were getting into some really cool stuff
Yeah.
in those later years, like especially like once Beauty and the Beast came out. Like that's when
Mhm.
like Disney's that's called the golden era, right? Of Disney animation.
Yeah, you
You have
had
Beauty and the
Beauty and the
Beast,
Beast,
Aladdin, Lion
Aladdin.
King. They were hitting
Yeah.
the ground running.
Little
And then
Mermaid.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, exactly. So that was 89, I think.
Even
Yeah.
Mulan, I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah, Mulan. Yeah, and then so Treasure Planet like massively underperformed for Disney's expectations.
I still think that was one of their better movies. I
I,
don't know
I I
why.
remember seeing it like once or twice. I liked it enough.
Yeah.
But it under and that movie had a whole story about like the guys who made it. I think they directed um uh either Lion King or Pocahontas. There were teams that were kind of like competing against each other. And these
Mhm.
guys were
Mhm.
trying to make Treasure Planet for since that time. Since
Wow.
Pocahontas, they were trying to make Treasure Planet. And Disney kept saying you make this first, make this first, and they finally got to make it, and it underperforms,
Mm.
and that was kind of the death knell until um, what they they have that cow movie Home on the Range, and like
Yeah.
they were
Oh,
starting to
was that the
ramp down.
claymation one or
No, it was 2D animated, but
oh
that one underperformed, and they had like they had some movies like
Atlantis?
Atlantis and
That
that
wasn't
Brother
too bad.
Bear movie.
Mm.
And then I think there was that lull, and then they came back with Princess
Toy
and the
Story.
Frog, and it's just been done ever since.
Yeah, Toy
Yeah.
Story just ruined it for us. After
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Stinking
it
Toy
was,
never
Story.
turned back.
yeah.
Yeah. We can blame Pixar for that.
Yeah. It was original at the time. I just didn't know everybody was going to take over the same style.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's kind of because the 2D movies age a lot better,
Yeah.
generally speaking. Disney had that period in the 80s where they really cheaped out on a lot of stuff. They used a lot of rotoscoping, which is where they trace over, like they'll film something, and so you have
Oh,
that
yeah.
look where it looks the animation looks like a real person is moving, and it's
Mhm.
because they're
Hmm.
just literally tracing over a real person. But they were really cutting a lot of corners during that era. That's when what was the Sword in the Stone kind of movie? Oh, was that what it's
Oh,
called? The Sword and
yeah.
Stone?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
So the Sword and the Stone, and what was the other one that they
Robin
liked
Hood.
to? No, Robin Hood was before that.
Oh, okay.
It was in the 80s. So they had Sword in the Stone. They had another one that I wish I could remember the name of it, but they like to pretend it. Oh, the Cauldron, the Black Cauldron.
Oh,
That
yeah. I was
that
about ready to say The Last Unicorn, but that was a completely different
I don't
genre.
think that was Disney either, was it?
No, I don't think it was. But I remember that one. That was an incredible art or cartoon.
Yeah. And so like a lot of that stuff, like you still like it's interesting to watch, especially if you watched it back then, but you can tell the quality is just there's a big gulf between that and what was like sandwiching it.
That and I kind of lost a little respect. Well, a little respect. What little I had for Disney. Somebody put together a video of two screens on top of each other, and they
Oh,
showed.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like they
Mhm.
had a Robin Hood scene, and the characters' motions and everything mimicked like Mowgli
Jungle
from
Book.
Jungle
Jungle Book.
Book,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And they went through all these different movies. They were it was the exact same motion, exact same dancing, different environment, different characters, but the movement and everything was
Hmm.
identical. So,
They were I guess they were going through like you know, Disney back then was not the monolith it is today, right?
right.
And
Yeah.
so like they were in this period where Snow White was a huge hit, but then like I don't remember what came after. Was it Bambi or
Bambi, I think,
um
or was I think it was
they had
Bambi.
some movies that did not perform as well. And Disney was also spending Walt Disney was also spending a lot of money on his other projects. And I think what Fantasia was a pet project for him. Like it was like some or a passion project. Um but yeah, they definitely were trying to save money. That was a cost
Mhm.
cutting thing they were doing where they were tracing over their own stuff and just recoloring. Because
That's
it was even the same, it was the bear.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a bear character that
Bare
looked just like
necessities. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they were definitely trying to save money, but
Yeah. That was good stuff. That's good.
No,
Well,
I'll tell you
guys,
what. Next
yeah.
holiday, I'm looking forward to seeing Chuck Jones Grinch. That's the only thing I look forward to every
is there a
year.
new Grinch
Yeah.
movie coming?
No, but
No,
he just likes the
Chuck
original.
Jones, the original, the
Oh, it's been
artist
on
that did.
repeat at my house. My son's
Yeah.
been watching it.
Oh, has he?
Yeah,
Good taste.
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah. You're raising them right, Chris.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we've gone off the rails to the point that I think this is another amazing episode we just put out.
Right on.
So thank you guys for coming in and helping me like completely start on one topic, and then we went and we talked about Disney. I want to get back to Disney again, maybe in a future episode, and talk about why they don't allow smoking,
Yeah.
and watch Chris like go off the rails on that, because I know that's a topic his wife does not want him talking about, but I want to bring it back. So we're gonna. But thank you guys for
Stir in
coming in.
the
And yeah,
pot.
so I got the wheel spinning in his head right now, and he want so it can just soak in there. Maybe
It's
it'll
gonna
pop up.
randomly manifest itself into some. I'm just gonna be. What are you thinking about?
Yeah, at
Smoking.
Thanksgiving dinner, It'll- and then your wife can like be mad at me. That's fine. That's fine. You can tell her Ken said this, and it's been in my head ever since. So, but yeah, and if you're checking us out on here, thank you for checking us out. Tell your mom, dad, friends, neighbors, people you don't like, and make them watch us. So, see y'all later.
Later.